Hello everybody and welcome back to another action figure review. This time we are not looking at a new figure, far from it, because this figure is actually, well, just about 20 years old. But there are two main reasons that I'm going to review this figure anyway. The first one is that there are not that many reviews of this figure on YouTube. And the second and most important reason is that Mezco has just revived their Silent Screamers figure line. Or at least they have put out the updated 20-year anniversary version of Nosferatu. And the Nosferatu figure was a part of the first Silent Screamers wave back in 2000. Now we are going to take a look at a figure from the second wave of Silent Screamers figures released back then in 2001, and we're looking at Edison's Frankenstein. Well, we are not looking at the figure right now, we are looking at the backdrop and the base here, the diorama that comes with the figure. So let's begin with that, because that's a pretty impressive piece here, with a base and a huge door, and the door can open up, revealing nothing behind it, but at least it has good details. The frame of the door itself, and a window here in the middle so you actually can peek through if you want. On the diorama base here we have two pieces of broken bottle looking like this, and with some kind of liquid inside, and there are pick holes so you can put them on the base and they're going to stay there. Now, let's bring the figure out and take a look at the other accessories as well. And here we have Frankenstein, or at least Mezco's interpretation of Frankenstein from the movie Edison's Frankenstein from 1910. And when I say interpretation, it's because this figure looks nothing like the monster in that very short and very old movie. But, well, this is what we get, and I think we actually get a pretty cool, gross looking and nicely detailed figure. But if you're going for accuracy, well, there is absolutely nothing here. Before we take a closer look at Frankenstein himself, let's take a look at the accessories. Here we have a skull, which is very, very nice. Nicely detailed and sculpted. And then we have three books. We have a medical journal that you can put on the base or wherever. And we have a copy of a book called Life and Death by M. Shelley, which I assume is Mary Shelley. And then we have a notebook. A very thin notebook. All these three books here are nicely detailed and cool accessories that you can use everywhere else you want, and not in particular with this figure. Well, now the figure. As I said, it looks nothing like Frankenstein from the movie which it is based on, but we still have a great figure here. A grotesque monster-like figure, very exaggerated, just like some of the other Silent Screamers figures. So in that regard, this figure is a typical Silent Screamer figure, but some of the others at least have similarities with the figures they are based, or sorry, the movie characters they are based on, but in this case, well, really not. But still, it's a pretty cool piece. I actually like it. If you need a monster and you need a display, horror type display, you can use the figure and of course the background as well. The articulation here is, as with the other Silent Screamers figures, pretty limited, but you do get a bit of head movement. You can raise the arms up and you can turn them here. You can also move them at the elbow with a single joint, and you can rotate them here at the claws or hands. And then there is a joint here, and the legs are not articulated at all, but the figure stands. And if you need to or you want to, you can peg it into the base and it really won't move. It's also a pretty huge figure. Here's a size comparison next to a Mezco 112 Collective Daredevil, and over here we have a NECA Predator, and it's a bit larger if I can get him in frame here. So this figure is somewhere in between these two scales, and I guess I think it fits with the Daredevil figure, but it's a larger character because, well, it is a monster made out of human parts, and you can see that if you really check out the details here. There's a visible spine at the back of the figure, and you can see in particular the face here, and also the hands, in this case with 6 fingers on one hand, and over here it also doesn't really look right. But there are a lot of these details if you look closely. But it's not a realistic figure if that's what you're looking for, not at all, but it's still a pretty cool figure to me. So for now I'm going to leave you with my opinion about Frankenstein from Edison's movie from 1910, and then I'll conclude this review. With a white and innocent look, but with a red trail of blood, she wrote the black chapter. As I said, I actually like this figure because it's somehow charming and it fits in with my other Silent Screamers collection figures, but if you compare it to the standard nowadays, I know it's not a great figure, and it's also absolutely not accurate compared to the source material. But I like it anyway. And if you want to, and you haven't also already, you can check out my rather old reviews of other Silent Screamers figures. I have Count Orlok, the Nosferatu, Dr. Caligari, and Maria the Robot from Metropolis. Thanks a lot for watching, leave a comment and subscribe if you'd like to see more.